म्हणजे तुझ्यासाठी ते अशी लागली पोरं माझ्या घरी येते तू येऊन जाते शेगाव त्याला विचारू का कोणत्या वेळेला जाणं सोयीस्कर होईल
Good morning, all of you. Shraddha ma'am, shall we start
Yes,
the program? Yes.
yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Right. A very good morning to all of you. A warm welcome to the beautiful morning, each one of you, to this the virtual gathering presenting Imprint 2024 Dream, Believe and Achieve, a 10 days online soft skills certificate course organized by the Center for Literary Interaction and Creativity Nagpur in collaboration with MANOHARRAO KAMDI Mahavidyalaya Nagpur, Rajkumar Keval Ramani Kanya Mahavidyalaya Nagpur, Green Haven Institute of Management and Research Nagpur, and Anjuman Girls Degree College Nagpur. My dear participants, your unwavering commitment to learning and your consistent presence in this online course are truly commendable. Participants, your dedication reflects a thirst for knowledge and a passion for the arts that we deeply admire. Today we are privileged to have with us an eminent scholar and an expert in the field, Dr. Shraddha Deshpande ma'am. Very welcome ma'am. Uh, with her wealth of knowledge and expertise, she promised to enrich our understanding of ethical leadership. As a host of today's program, it's my prime responsibility to introduce our today's speaker. Let me introduce today's eminent personality, Dr. Shraddha Deshpande ma'am. She is working as an associate professor in Dharampet MP Deo Memorial Science College, Nagpur. Ma'am, you are the member of All India Network of English Teachers, Center for Literary Interaction and Creativity, Shakespearean Society of Central India, and Indian Women Scientists Association. Ma'am, you are awarded for soft skill development trainer level 1 by UGC Human Resources Development Center of RTM Nagpur University in 2020. Best teacher in charge from the Rotary Club Nagpur. Beat COVID campaign by Mahatma Gandhi National Council of Rural Education, Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Education, Government of India in 2022. She has published several research papers in the national and international journals. So let us embark on this enriching journey together. I kindly request to Dr. Shraddha Deshpande ma'am to throw the light on the today's topic, that is the ethical leadership. Please ma'am, over to you.
At the outset, I would like to thank Pragati ma'am for an honest and humble introduction. At the same time, I would like to thank Minakshi Vasnik madam and all the organizers who have invited me as a guest speaker and have given me the opportunity to interact with the students. It is a kind of interaction, of course, it's a sharing of knowledge. And the topic that been given to me today is ethical leadership, and I would like to begin with it. I'll just begin with the screen sharing. Is it visible,
Yes,
Pragati
ma'am.
ma'am?
Yes, it is clearly visible.
Yes. So
Yes.
let us begin with a very, very specified topic today that today we are going to discuss here is ethical leadership. Now, being an Indian, we all know that what is the importance of ethics in our lives. So I would not much talk about ethics in the life of an Indian, but how the importance of ethics can be seen and observed and can be imbibed in the case of leadership. So let us begin the journey of today's topic, that is, what is basically an ethical leadership. It refers to a leadership style that is characterized by very important things we are going to have here is commitment to moral values, principles, and ethical behavior in decision making. So, as we all know that we all being Indians focus on the commitment to the moral values that we have imbibed since ages from our ancient Vedas and scriptures. Also, the principles that we follow from our ancestors and the ethical behavior that a leader basically needs during taking a correct decision. And basically, when a leader is ethical, it means that a person who is a leader who prioritizes these things in his behavior: honesty, integrity, and fairness in their decision making and actions, setting positive example for their team or organization. Now, here the third point is foremost important, that is fairness in their decision making. Now, fairness in decision making is a little bit dicey to understand who will decide the fairness of the decision made by a leader. But then there are certain more layers to understanding if the decision is correct or wrong. Again, I would like to say that a new perspective in psychology that has come today is there is nothing right and wrong in a particular decision. Whether it depends on the particular perspective and a particular situation on a particular person. So there are many things that could decide if the decision is correct at that particular point of time or not. So fairness in the decision making has different layers when we talk about the decision making in the leadership. And why do you think, when we come in terms of understanding that there should be the ethical side to a leader? Take it an organization, in politics, in education, business, even at home, you can understand that there is a leader in the house. There is one man or a woman, for that matter, that person is a leader in the house. Even that person needs to have some ethical qualities in his behavior. But then why it is important to have these things, let us understand first. Of course, conscience sharper, to foster trust, respect, and sense of fairness among team members or followers. Unless and until the members of your family, the members of your organization, or the members of your team don't trust you, it's very difficult for you to execute a particular plan or action. And I understand that not 100% of the, at times, that not 100% of the members can trust you. But as far as possible, if you could shape your conscience in such a way, you can show your conscience in such a way that almost 80 to 90% of the team members who are with you, they have trust in you, then probably you are towards the path of a ethical leadership. Positive workplace culture, it's very important, because nowadays we feel that there is a lot of negativity in and around our workplace. Now, when you say that positive workplace culture, it means you need to have, if the leader is positive, probably the team members, and from the lowermost to the topmost, can be guaranteed to have a positive work culture. If the leader himself or herself is continuously complaining about his own personal, professional issues and problems, that will create a negative impact among the team members, and that will show that the leader himself is not ready to accommodate, to understand the execution of the plans. So, in order to understand the positive workplace culture, the leader should himself be a very positive person. Right decisions, as I told you, there it contributes to better decision makings. When we are talking about right decision makings, as I told you, there is no right or wrong as such, but then depending upon the situation, the person, the people, those who are involved, you can say a better decision making. And overall, it is a very comprehensive overall ethical behavior within an organization. You have to look after a lot of different aspects when you think that I have come to a certain decision and this decision is the right decision, at least for the present moment of time. Improved staff morale. Ethical leadership is about leading, inspiring, motivating, and making the employees feel accountable for their work. Again, can you just focus on these three important points, which are leading, inspiring, and motivating? These are all very positive words. Those you can see in a positive leadership. where he is not only, see, leading is as opposite of dominating. When a leader, I will later on, when I'll discuss the traditional and collaborative leaders, I'll tell you how there was a difference between these two aspects. So leading is something has a very positive and strong aspect, where one idea, whenever an idea or decision is taken by a leader, everyone trusts him, everyone thinks that his decision is correct, and he is ready to take the lead. Inspiring is something, again, a very positive and thoughtful word, I would say. You can only inspire others when you have done something on your own. So there is a lot of work already done by the leader, and because of that, others think that you can be inspired by the leader. A leader cannot suddenly come and take a lead. He has done a lot of work before that, and people have seen his work before that, and after seeing his work, people get inspired. There's a lot of authentication process involved when people see that he has done an authenticated work. So that is how people are inspired from him, and he becomes a leader. Motivating, again, there are a lot of as I said, positive workplace or consensus shaper and right decisions. All these things motivates all the team members to understand that we are under the right leadership, and their work can be accountable. Whatever they will tell, they will talk to discuss with their leaders, or they will talk to their leaders. If any point they will present in front of their leader, it will be heard, it will be listened. At least their work will be accountable. Now let us see to the principles of ethical leadership. Fairness and justice. To treat all individuals with equal respect and honor, regardless of their background, position, or status, without any favoritism or discrimination. Now, there are two, what you can say, there are two sets, I mean, sides of this sentence basically. To treat all individuals with equal respect. I don't say by saying that you have to break the hierarchy. Of course, in an organization, particularly when I'm talking about the organization, there is a hierarchy. Being a good leader, you should always follow and the hierarchy within and outside the organization. But at the same time, it is very important that you should give equal respect to their background, position, and or status. Now again, this is one sentence, and the second part of the sentence is without any favoritism or discrimination. Now when you are following the hierarchy, that is a good part. Apart from that, because a person belongs to maybe in an organization, a person belongs to your family or someone your favorite, particularly all these favoritism and discrimination should not come in an organization or where your role as a leader is concerned. If it is a very casual conversation, if it is a very casual situation, then I think out of the box you can go, and in a very informal situations you can use this favoritism, of course. But in a very formal engagement, in a formal setup, favoritism and discrimination is not at all, it's a right thing for an ethical leader. For examples are also given here. Nelson Mandela brought reconciliation among the blacks and white despite the decades of animosity. Now again, when I talk about these examples that I'm sharing here, I have given the examples of very renowned people. But when we talk about our own lives at a very low, at a very normal and casual level, we need to understand that these small things should be executed at a very small organizational level as well. Accountability. Ethical leaders take accountability of their actions and outcomes of their decisions. When leaders hold themselves accountable, it creates an environment where everyone in the organization feels responsible for their actions. Here, Mahatma Gandhi taking accountability of the Chauri Chaura violence. I'll give you one more example of this accountability here is basically, if you remember Abdul Kalam's first missile, he has launched the first missile, and that was a total failure. But then the problem with the failure was, of course, the failure was of the team. But the mentor of Abdul Kalam, Honorable Abdul Kalam sir, had come in front of everyone, and he has taken the accountability of this failure. So when it comes to the accountability of the failure of the actions and the outcomes, it is definitely the role of the leader to come forward and take the accountability of the actions. It can be success, it can be a failure, but at the outcome at the end, it has to be of the leader. And if the leader takes its accountability, then it comes into his ethics. Transparency. It reduces suspicions and promotes ethical behavior as every decision is openly communicated with the team members and stakeholders, fostering trust. Again, I'm telling you, this transparency is something related to, it's very situational. As far as possible, you need to be transparent to your team members. If, for example, if there is a kind of an event you're going to plan, and you have just discussed few things to few members in your core team, and others don't know about it, so the event will be a total chaos. You might feel that these things are to be known only by the core team, but it's not possible unless you keep the transparency, unless each and every member of the organization, each and every member of that particular team knows and understand his own responsibilities. Probably that event or the program won't go proper. At certain point of time, it is possible, it is necessary that you should have certain things with your core team. However, in when all the team members are involved for execution of a particular thing, then each and every member should know what is going on in and around. Now, I have given this example of Chanakya on ethics in leadership. He was a great teacher, and on probably on every aspect of life, he has taught us something or other. So, let us see what he talks on ethics in leadership. Now, Chanakya places a strong emphasis on the need for the leader to be moral, emphasizing the values of ethics for a leader in his book Arthashastra. And he says, philosopher king. See, it's a very ironical word, I would say, philosopher king. A king is always, we have seen, he's a warrior, but then he says, a true leader acts both as a saint, is wise, knowledgeable, and able to connect with people, and a king at the same time is active and dynamic and make judgments about governance rather than simply being monarch. So he has given, Chanakya has given a dual responsibility to a king, rather a leader, who at times have to be a saint. He has to be very calm in a particular situations. He should be able to connect with people. He should be saintly. Of course, he should be knowledgeable. Just because he's a king, he is not dependent on his courtiers to make the decisions. He should be equally knowledgeable about the subject that he is dealing with. At the same time, he should be active and dynamic, and after listening to others, after having the opinions and views of the others, he should take the right decision as a monarch. So he tells that ethical leader or a philosopher king should be a combination of a saint as well as a king. Now, what are the things that a leader should not have? These are the six foes of a king. A king must restrain his desires and fight the temptations of sex, wrath, avarice, conceit, haughtiness, and overjoyed constantly. See, because you are a leader, you can come constantly in the contact with all these things. There are a lot of people involved. There are a lot of success and failures that you have seen. There is a lot of prejudices among the members in the team. So all these aspects that Chanakya has mentioned are very common, and they are very consistently seen in the lives of the leader. So, as far as possible, a leader must restrain of his desires, of his ideas on these aspects of life. Neutrality of emotions. A king must be neutral in his emotions, including lust, anger, greed, and attachment. Of course, as we have seen some earlier points, these also in there is no favoritism and discrimination. Then anger is a very important aspect of a leader, where because of your uncontrolled behavior, you can be at loss at many times. Just because you are a leader, it doesn't mean that you have a right to be angry on people. So you have to understand that while taking right decisions, while building up a team, while executing a plan, you need to have a certain amount of calmness and integrity and patience to come on a particular decision. An unjust or immoral ruler, he is capable of ensuring the welfare of his subjects and will either succumb to the wrath or that of his foe. So, of course, all these negative sides, that whatever he has mentioned here, should, the leader should get rid of these all these things, and he should rather, I would say, take knowledge of all these things. What are the things that he should do, what are the things that he should not do, and then unless and until he is ready to accept the leadership, he should not. Honesty and integrity, it is the cornerstone of ethical leadership, meaning being truthful, keeping promises, and admitting mistakes when they occur. Integrity builds trust, and trust is fundamental to ethical decision making. Now, again, because you are a leader, you feel that you will never be wrong because you have the right, you are at the topmost of the hierarchy. Whatever the wrong will be done will be only done by the people which are next to you. No, it's not possible. There may be certain decisions that you would have taken and then it had gone wrong. So at the same time, you should have the dignity to accept with honesty that yes, this was the decision that I made, and you should have that integrity to address this in front of your teammates, to say that no, this is something that I made it, and I take the accountability of my mistake. And also the next thing is keeping promises. Again, I told you, as the leader is at the topmost of the hierarchy, he feels that he can easily make promises and break promises. But this is not. When you talk about ethical leadership, of course, if you have given a word, you will have to keep it. That is what basically we are talking about ethical leadership. Empathy. Ethical leadership is also about empathetic and considering the impact of their decisions on all stakeholders. Ensures that the decisions are not made in isolation but with a broader perspective. Now, this word empathy is probably a very trending word in post-COVID or post-COVID era, I would say. People have much known about the word sympathy, that is helping others and understanding others, or having a soft corner for others. But what is this empathy? Basically, empathy means that you you understand if a person is having a problem, you put yourself in his shoes and understand the situation from his side. So when you understand the situation from his side, you understand the realities of the situation, and then you realize the problem of that particular person, and then you try to empathize with that person. So this probably, I would say, is the top most, you can keep this quality as at the top of the ethical leadership, where a leader understands, not only understands, but he also accommodates the problems of others and tries to, for example, there are 8 team members in the group, and one of the team members is having a problem, a personal or a professional problem, and he shares with that leader. But then leader gets angry and he says, you always have a problem like this, you always complain like this, and you always give excuses. Instead of doing under, he might keep himself in the place of that person, and may replace him with some other person at that particular time. So in this case, he would save his time. He would also understand the problem of the employee also, or the teammate. If I'm talking to students, you have a team, right? So you can understand the problem of a team. You can immediately replace the teammate with another person, so that whatever work you are doing, that cannot be hampered. At the same time, you will be a person who understands and who can take quick decisions when the things become haywire. Courage. Ethical leadership is about displaying courage in decision making, whereby one is not afraid to stand up for what is right, even in the face of adversity. Sorry. Ethical courage is vital in situations where unethical behavior or practices needed to be addressed. You all know that there are certain situations where leaders have to take very strong ethical decisions, where you need a lot of courage in decision making, particularly probably in politics or some government sectors, where people are pressurizing you for certain things, and you are stuck up in the situation where you feel that yes, this is something, this should be done, but then I don't have enough courage to do the right thing. Of course, in ethical leadership, the courage plays a vital role, where you need to take a very important decision on the base of this courage. Example, Malala standing up for the girls' right for education against death threats by Taliban. She has been shot. Initially she had done a lot of work, and then after doing the so much of work, she had been even shot. So this kind of courage and bravery is so much important and needed. But then of course it's not that easy. I would say it's not easy. If even if you ask me that how much courage and bravery I have to stand up for a particular thing, it will take time for a normal human being, or a person who has never fought for a, or haven't stood for a cause like this. But if you start practicing from a smaller groups, if you stand for your old small group, something is going wrong, and if you stand for that thing, the correct thing, I think a little bit of you will get a little bit of courage, and um, you can have slowly and steadily, you can increase your circle, and definitely one fine day, you never know, you can take big and bigger decisions in your life on the basis of this courage. Respectful and dignified treatment. A moral leader will respect with his juniors opinions, choices, and morals, and will not treat them as a means to achieve his goal. Of course. So these basically, many leaders feel that this the people under him are the stepping stones for him, and that is why once he gets the position, he feels that he they belong to him. However, respecting juniors does not show that he is breaking the hierarchy. Definitely, because the leader is at the topmost of the hierarchy, he has to have certain what you can say, there is certain kind of aura to him where he has to have that kind of behavior, that kind of aura. But at the same time, if you don't treat your juniors or your rather your equals with the same kind of choices and morals, people will start disrespecting you. They will feel that, oh my god, how many days this person is going to be here, we need a good leader. People will not take time in replacing you. So it's very important, if you want to become a good leader, it's very important for you to respect your juniors and having their opinions and choices at the same time. Continuous learning and improvement. Ethical leaders are open to feedback and self reflection, seeking active opportunities to enhance their learning. They understand that ethics is an ongoing journey, not a destination. Now, once maybe because of a lot of hard work and you have become a leader, you have come to a particular position, but your journey of this leadership doesn't stop here. As we go back to the advice that Chanakya has given us, he says that a king is should be knowledgeable. It means that his knowledge, the leader's knowledge, should continuously be updated. Otherwise, what will happen is, if your team members is having more knowledge than you, then they might it may happen that they might fool you, or it may happen that they might surpass you. So whatever plan you are executing, wherever you are doing a kind of a leadership role, you should know every aspect of that particular situation. You should have knowledge of that particular thing that you are executing. Now, because I'm talking to students here, there are many small leadership roles that you basically take up in your college life. Either that is, there is a class leader, or there is some club leadership, or there is some association leadership. There are very small groups that you there are group of 10 to 12 students, and there is a uh, leader of one particular club. So that leader should have each and every updated knowledge of that particular club or association or the organization that he is leading. Otherwise, as I told you, all other team members will surpass him, and then he will not receive any kind of respect or dignity from the team members, and at times he may be sidelined by the team members as well, and that is not a good leadership. Vision and values alignment. Ethical leaders consistently uphold the principles and values they espouse and ensure that their decisions align with their organization's vision and values. The foremost thing that a leader should have is the vision for of a particular execution. It is up to the leader what kind of vision the leader is having for a particular task. Of course, why is he the leader? Because he has something extraordinary from apart from the team members, and that is why he is the leader. So this extraordinary part is his vision, that where is he seeing, where is he going to take up the execution part, at to which level, and what will be the outcome of the execution. And of course, the values alignment. When there's a team and organization, those values should match to each other's opinions and views, and if they are not matching, it is the responsibility of the leader that there should be an alignment of the vision and values within the organization for its smooth functioning. But then, is it an easy task when you say that yes, integrity, honesty, accountability, these are very heavy weighing words, but at the same time they are very challenging. So what are the challenges that usually abhi tak to I have told you about a lot of theory part, but then when it comes to the execution of adopting to these kinds of qualities, what are the challenges when an ethical leader faces? Goals vs means. Leaders often face pressure to prioritize short term results over ethical considerations, leading to unethical behavior such as cutting corners or compromising values to meet targets. And now, for short term goals, you have to take quick decisions and shortcuts. Even if you can see a clear path in front of you, but then because you want to reach to the target, you want to reach to a particular outcome, often leaders come into the pressure and they feel that no, let us just compromise on our these principles. So these, at that point of time, it is very important for a leader to take the correct decision, no matter how, maybe no matter if it takes some time, no matter we will need more teammates, no matter we might need more funds, maybe we may need to include people who I may not like. There may be certain decisions that a leader would like to take. So instead of getting into the pressures only to get those short term results, it is important that one should look at the long term results and take decisions with courage. Ethical dilemma: to encounter situations where ethical principles conflict with stakeholder interest, making it challenging to make decisions that satisfy everyone. Now, of course, as I told you, that it's a teamwork. Even if the last word is of the leader, the main, it's after all, you need to understand that each and every person who is involved in the team is equally important. So there are certain interests of the teammates as well. So there you need to go into that empathy and a lot of teamwork building, where you need to understand and accommodate the views and opinions of the stakeholders also, not only be, not only emphasizing on your own individual decision making. Organizational culture. In organizations where ethical behavior is tolerated or overlooked, leaders may struggle to maintain ethical standards and foster a culture of integrity. Now, there are certain organizations, like I'll just give you an example. We have got this Florence Nightingale, who was basically who founded the what you can say, this nursing uh, education. And when she was Florence Nightingale, she was a girl from a very rich family, and she decided to go and change the face of nursing during World War. She had to, and she took up this leadership role. When she went and saw the hospitals during this, after the World War, and there was a lot of illicit practices in those hospitals, and it was a big challenge for her to change the whole situation of the hospitals. And it was definitely a very courageous task as well. So in such an organization where an unethical behavior is already prevalent since many years, to go and play a role of a leader and change that whole unethical behavior in those hospitals was a very challenging task. But then, because of her courage, her determination, and integrity, she could do that. And she changed the whole scenario of the hospitals by changing a lot of things in the organization through this particular thing. So it is not impossible. Of course, it is not impossible. You can change an totally unethical workplace into an ethical culture, foster a culture of integrity. But yes, it you need to have a lot practice as a leader. You need to take up some leadership roles. Nowadays students are not ready to take up leadership roles, and that is why they don't get the practice of having leadership. So only giving lectures on leadership or ethical leadership will not help. As far as I am concerned, I appeal all the students to participate in activities. Yes, I have a little bit of capacity, I have a little bit of talent of being a leader. kindly get yourself into that leadership roles. Then at a very initial stages, even if you are in the first year, second year, final year, take up leadership roles in small groups. That will help you to build a strong leader in you for your larger goals in life. Lack of awareness of training, as I told you, very because nowadays people are not interested, they are followers. Majorly students are followers. Very few students lead. And because they don't know how to lead, there's no training to them. Some leaders may lack awareness of ethical issues or the skills needed to address them effectively. So many a times it happens that few number of people say that no, you are good, so you become the leader. The person himself doesn't know that he has those qualities or not. He doesn't know, because 10 people are telling him that nahi, tum ban sakte ho, tum ban jao bas. Under that peer pressure, a person who is absolutely unaware of his own capacities becomes a leader. He doesn't have the training, the required skill set to address the situations that uh, he may come in front, he may face. So he's not prepared at all. Because of this lack of training, the a person who suddenly has become a leader out of no way can face a lot of challenges. So even any one of you today listening to me, if you feel that I have at least 10% of leadership qualities, you can, through training and understanding by knowledge, gaining knowledge, and having lot of training in that particular area, can become a good leader definitely. Resistance to change. Implementing ethical practices may face resistance from individuals or groups accustomed to business as usual approach. Now, as I told you that again, he is at the topmost position of in the team. The leader feels that whatever I have said is the last thing. I'm not going to change my decision. But this doesn't happen. There are certain situations where a decision, where a leader has to change his way of thinking, change his plan, execution strategies. Maybe he has to change certain policies in whatever he has made. There should be an upgradation of his thoughts, of his executions and plans and strategies in life, because life is a change all the time. So you cannot say that no, I will remain like this and I have decided this will work like this. It's not possible in such a fast moving world, where suddenly a situation changes, and if it doesn't change, probably you will not get the outcome that you are desiring. So it's very important that this flexibility in your thought process should always be there when it is highly needed. There's a case study that I'm discussing. It's about Johnson and Johnson's Tylenol crisis. Short one, I'll just read out. You will understand what was the problem. The crisis was in 1982. J and J painkiller Tylenol was replaced with cyanide-laced capsule in the Chicago area, killing 7 people. Now, 7 people were killed because of this capsule. Now, this company, the chairman, formed a 7-member strategy team with two objectives. Suddenly, when the chairman came to know that 7 people were killed because of the capsule, he took up a team of 7 members and worked on it. The company immediately alerted consumers across the nation via media, as well as established a 1-800 hotline for consumers to call. They took a change in their decision. They made a team. Ethically, they thought that they should accept there is a problem, that in their the capsule made by them, they took the accountability of it, and the production was stopped. immediately and withdraw all Tylenol capsules from the entire country. Now, this is what the company did itself. The company took the responsibility of whatever happened because of their pills. They took a sudden action, a decision. They made a team and took an action on this by they themselves stopped the capsules from being consumed, further consumed. Now, what happened? How do we save this product? Now, it is not only that because the product is now stopped, it has been withdrawn from the distribution, the company will get into loss. Now, how to save the product was again the problem with them. What did they do with it? They recognized how open and transparent communication from the source can clearly disseminating warnings to the public, as well as the companies stand on the crisis, toning down the negative publicity. Now, the advantage, basically the company got the advantage because the company itself declared that these um, capsules should be stopped. So they gained the trust of the people by, and this is how they toned down the negative publicity. They took the accountability of it on their own. This is how they stopped. They showed that they have a very transparent and clear communication between them and the public. So this is how they gained the trust again. And then what they did was product innovation. A new triple safety seal packaging were introduced, making Tanolol the first product in the industry to use the new tamper-resistant packaging with just 6 months after the crisis occurred. So they did not stop there. They did not say that, oh my God, now what we have already um, uh, the image of our company has been lost. What we will do now? They continuously kept on working on that particular product, and they launched a new product just after 6 months. So they did research and development on the product, and they came up with the new product, showing the public that they are still concerned with the health issues of the people. So this is absolutely a perfect example of how in a very big organization where your ethical standards are important, where so many lives of the people are being dependent on, and it is because of you that 7 people have already died. At that point, taking such a decision by the chairman of the company is a best example of having the ethical leadership. I'll just quickly in next 5 minutes, I will tell you how what was the how there is a paradigm change in the leaders of traditional thinking and leaders of today who think that any teamwork is a collaborative work. Leader is not an alone, is not a single entity today. Leader has to work with his team members for the execution of any kind of a plan. But traditional leaders used to believe that power comes from their position and authority. So they used to feel that I am at the topmost and I don't need to listen to anyone. However, the today it's a collective teamwork, and in the traditional leadership, there was a lot of ownership that I am the leader of this group. So there is a lot of what you can say self branding and self centered approach. Whereas in the new because everyone knows that we have to be dependent on others. There's a lot of sharing of information and knowledge. These days leaders take up the opinions and knowledge sharing from their teammates to have better insights for their plans. In the traditional leaders, the sometimes listen to suggestions and ideas from their team. It was very rare that the leaders used to listen. However, these days it's people come up with they encourage suggestions and ideas from others. In the older one, the delivery solution, delivery the approach solution to the team. So it was the last decision of the leader, and he will directly tell the decision to the team members. However, here there is a lot of brainstorming session in within the organization where everyone's opinions is asked and taken care of. I will skip this to the last slide because these are all quite of repetitive uh, things that have been discussed. The last slide that I would like to discuss here in last 5 minutes is 5 to 10 minutes is types of leadership styles. Why I am discussing this particular slide is because even if I've talked about ethical leadership today, it's a very thin line where you say that all these things cannot be possible in one personality or in one individual rather. So there is a lot of different kinds of combinations in these leadership styles. I think this particular slide is very important for you to understand which kind of leadership, after listening to all these ethical aspects of leadership, you can decide and under which leadership style, if you want to become a leader somewhere at the point of your time, you can decide under which leadership style you would like to work. Aristocratic leadership: make decisions alone without consulting team members. As we have seen, this is a traditional way of working, and this is helpful in making quick decision because you're the only one who is taking the decision, so it saves time, and then there's a lot of less stress to understand others, taking opinions of others. But then this form of leadership can demoralize team members because the leader feels that um, the team members will feel that why we are here when the leader is taking all the decisions, why the leader needs a team. Democratic leadership: these leaders ensure that the team members have high productivity as well as job satisfaction. So in democratic leadership, it is like everyone has equal right to say, and probably a decision would be made considering each one of views, and at the end the decision will be a team decision. This might work. Strategic leadership: maintain the upper level management but ensure that everyone else is not negatively affected by it. Now, here, the strategic leadership, there is a kind of what you can say hierarchy. In democratic leadership, probably the leader would be equal to the teammates, where hierarchy is not being used. The leader sometimes would become a team member. However, in strategic leadership, you might see that the leader is taking the role of leader, maintaining the roles of the team members, and there is no negativity at the same time. So leader is playing the role of the leader, and team members are playing the role of the team members. So this can also work. Strategic leadership. Bureaucratic leadership: the leaders are committed to their rules and want to get things done in a particular order and manner. Now, as we say that if you're thinking of a collaborative event, if you're thinking of if you are such a kind of leader where you feel that no, members should be involved and something like that, then probably this kind of leadership might, only your rules and only your thinking might not work. These are all my opinions. You can always have your own opinions in this matter. Laissez faire leadership: the French term laissez faire means that the leader lets the team do it, interpreted as zero delegation or zero leadership. I think democratic, and there's a difference between democratic and laissez faire here is, in democratic, the leader is participating as equal to the team member. So he's there, he's present. But in laissez faire, the leaders just sit and he tells the whole team to do it. So it is the responsibility of the team to work on it. So it's a zero leadership. So I don't think so that this can be a and any plan or execution can be executed without a leader. So I think it will not work. Transformational leadership. At the end of the session, I would also like to request all the students, if you could write which kind of leadership we would like to follow in the chat box of your YouTube, so that I would get some feedbacks from the students. Yes. Transformational leadership. This type of leadership always follows the concept of transformation. The team members get the change of letting their creativity flow. So here, not only uh, there is a change in the behavior of the or the thought process of the team members. They are given a chance to think out of the box. Of course, where creativity is involved, in that case it's highly recommendable, where the chances to the team members should be given to think, to do something out of box, suggest something out of box, and that really will enhance their creativity. So that could be a good one. Charismatic leadership. Motivating and inspiring your team remains the primary goal of you as the leader. However, there is no transformation in this process. It is only, see, this can be now. These leadership styles can work in the combination of one or two. So when you are saying that transformation leadership, you can also work as a charismatic leader, where you are motivating and inspiring team members, but then there is no transformation. They are only motivated to work something, and then they will execute the work. There are certain leaders who are very motivating. Their speech, their style of talking to others, encouraging people, it's absolutely magical. So, do you want to be a charismatic leader? Think and decide. You can. It depends on you. Transactional leadership. The leaders and followers transact rewards and punishments for the tasks performed. For the goals set and accomplished, the leader rewards the team members. Now, this is a very traditional leadership as well, where rewards and punishments are given. So I think this can work in the combination of one or two, where sometimes I don't think so punishment is much more prevalent these days, but reward system can definitely help in um, achieving your goals as a good leader. Coach style leadership. This type of leadership identifies and nurtures the strengths of each of the members for better teamwork and better strategy building. Coach style, charismatic, transformational, all these can go hand in hand, where you are teaching your teammates as a coach as well. So you are a mentor. You are not only a leader, but you are a mentor at the same time. You are teaching your teammates how to do things, how to execute things. Though many a times it happens that the team doesn't know, that the team is new to a certain things that the leader only knows. So instead of keeping those things to himself, he can teach those things to his teammates, so that you can see the smooth functioning of all the whole process. So you can also be a mentor at the same time when you are a leader. Servant leadership. The leader gains their position due to their ideals, ethics, and values, and holds high integrity and generosity. Now, I don't know why servant leadership here is given, when the concept is quite positive, that because of the ideals, ethics, and values you are holding, people follow you. People blindly follow you. Hero worship, I would say. Instead of saying a servant leadership, you can say hero leadership, where they are following you because of your ideas and ethics and whatever they have seen, whatever work they have seen of yours. They are highly they have a high respect for you, and that is why they are following you like a servant, like probably a very ardent follower. So I would replace this with a heroic leadership instead of servant. That also is, I would say, might work if you are really, you have some ideal person in your life and you are following him as a leader. With this slide, I come to the end of my presentation. And of course, at the end, it's not only one thing that is responsible for have being a good leader. Leadership responsibility is multidimensional and cannot be described in one or two words. It is personal, interpersonal, environmental, and societal. Thank you, organizers, once again for inviting me for sharing my knowledge on this particular topic
Uh,
with the
Thank you
student.
thank you so much, ma'am, for the insightful lecture. Uh, Ma'am, can we have a question answer session?
Sure.
Uh, s- Student, if participants have any questions, please ask. Any questions from the participants, please you can ask.
I think there are no questions as such, and I
Okay.
hope you are done with all the things, ma'am.
Yes. Thank
Your
you.
topic
Yes,
was full of
actually,
content.
yes,
Yeah.
very detailed presentation. So,
Kapil Raut, has he raised it by mistake?
yes, ma'am, my mistake.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, if participants have not any question, then we'll move towards the formal vote of thanks. Uh, Thank you so much, Shraddha Deshpande, ma'am, for the insightful lecture. Ma'am, you talk on very briefly on the ethical leadership. Uh, you emphasis on the aspect how ethical leadership is important for becoming a good and a strong leader in this competitive world. It will surely help to the participant for paving way towards their successful career. Indeed, it was a very informative and interesting session, ma'am. Thank you very much for your insightful presentation. I express the sense of gratitude to you on the behalf of the host institution. I would like to thank the president of the Center for Literary Interaction and Creativity, Dr. Pranoti Chakrabarti ma'am, for her thoughtful plan for this lecture series. I would like to thank the principal of MANOHARRAO KAMDI Mahavidyalaya, Dr. Usha Sakure ma'am, for her dedication and tireless work. I thanks to the principal of the organizing colleges, Dr. Urmila Dabir ma'am, Dr. Anil Sharma sir, Dr. Anju Mara Khan ma'am, and the coordinator of the imprint, Dr. Meenakshi Vasnik ma'am, Dr. Madhvi Moharil ma'am, Dr. Rajni Kumar, and Dr. Dipti Jain ma'am. I'm also grateful to the technician, Mr. Ankush Bobre. Without his support, the series wouldn't be possible. Thanks to all my dear participants and each and every person for making this lecture series successful. Thank you so much, my dear participants. Once again, dear participants, we'll meet tomorrow morning with a new topic, with the fresh energy, open hearts, and eager minds. Thank you. Thank you so much, all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shraddha, ma'am, for your valuable contribution. Thank you so much.
तिथे मागच्या रूम मध्ये